Have public resources been spent as they were supposed to? What should Parliament and parliamentarians be doing during the ex-post stages? This is the third video of a three-part series created by the Caribbean Development Bank. It considers what parliamentarians should ask after any money is spent. While the execution of the budget is the responsibility of the executive, it must also be reviewed by the Parliament. The objective of post-expenditure scrutiny is to monitor budget implementation and engage citizens in that process. Through this, MPs can find out the impact of spending on their constituents and how it has helped all citizens, making sure no one is left behind. Ultimately, it promotes transparency, accountability, and deters corruption. Upon parliamentary approval of the budget, the Minister of Finance is responsible for distributing funds. MPs play a key role by their ability to question ministers and government officials on how they are spending taxpayers' money. Scrutiny includes reviewing the half-year fiscal report, which examines the performance relative to the budget. Among the questions to be raised are: what is the economic performance relative to forecast? What is the overall fiscal performance in relation to the fiscal deficit or surplus? What are the implications for reserves or debt? What is the revenue performance relative to budget, and rationale for changes? Major changes to the budget require a formal budget amendment approved by the Parliament. MPs will expect to see explanations of: why is there a need for this extra money? Why was the issue not foreseen? MPs should check that the extra expenditure is not due to fraud, error, or inadequate planning. Using committees is one way to monitor the use of public funds. The Public Administration and Appropriations Committees in Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago scrutinize budget implementation and identify issues and problems before they come to audit. Independent Supreme Audit institutions audit government's accounts, and their findings are then considered by Parliament. If the process is effective, audit recommendations are reflected in future budgets. The backlog of accounts is a problem. Audit reports need to be produced and tabled in the Parliament as speedily as possible to ensure their relevance and accuracy. This requires political will and adequate resourcing. While Parliament depends on high-quality audit reporting to exercise effective scrutiny, the Auditor General in turn requires an effective Parliament to ensure that departments implement audit recommendations. The Public Accounts Committee is a mechanism used by Parliament to exercise its control of the public purse. A useful summary is that the AG delivers the information and the PAC delivers the message. PAC reports and recommendations must be followed by a formal response from government. Audit reports only have practical value if the government addresses the issues they raise. Financial audit focuses on the accuracy and correctness of government accounts. Key questions to be asked by the PAC include: why has the expenditure increased or decreased? Has the output increased alongside the higher expenditure? Has planned expenditure and output been cut because of the cost overruns in other areas? MPs should also ask for information on staff costs and senior management salaries, whether assets have been lost or their value removed from the balance sheet, risks such as liabilities for fines or other payments that may arise through malpractice. Audit institutions increasingly perform value for money audits. The term value for money captures the 3 E's. Economy is spending less, efficiency is spending well, effectiveness is spending wisely. PACs will want to investigate if and why performance has fallen short of expectations and the impact on all citizens. Some lines of questions are: were expectations, targets, and plans realistic? What changes have been put in place to correct failures and to prevent any recurrences? And what wider lessons has the organization learned which might apply to similar programs? Effective scrutiny of budget implementation will reduce the pressure on audits by identifying problems far earlier in the budget cycle, complete the circle of accountability by feeding audit findings into budgetary decisions. The benefits to MPs and the public are financial control and efficiency, improved public service delivery and public sector performance, and an effective check on executive power. Our first video in the series using the national budget cycle to best effect can be found here. Our second video considered the role of MPs in both budget planning and expenditure allocations ex ante phases of the budget process. It can be found here.